In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the herringbone stitch. It's a rather interesting stitch with a very unique pattern. I'm going to be using a 5mm hook for my sample piece, but of course you can use a different size hook to get the size stitches that you are looking for. We're going to start with a slip knot. And the multiple of chains will be a multiple of 4. So for my sample piece, I'm going to choose 12 for my multiple of 4. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And once you have your multiple of 4, you're then going to add 7 more chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we are ready to begin. For row 1, we're going to start working in the 5th chain from the hook. So do not count the one or the loop that's on your hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is number 5. I'm going to be working in these back bumps, but you can work in that front loop if you would like. So skip the first 4 chains and you're going to start with 2 double crochet, so there's 1 and 2, and now you're going to chain 2 and then do 2 more double crochets right into that same stitch. And this is also known as a V-stitch, what we did here just now. The 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet. So there's that. Now we will skip the next 3 chains, and this will be your repeating sequence. So you'll skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and then in this next one, you'll do 2 double crochet. So you'll be doing a V-stitch here. So 2 double crochet, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochet right into that same stitch. So there we go. So now we skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and do our V-stitch right here. So 2 double crochet into that stitch. Chain 2, and then 2 more double crochet right into that same stitch. And 2. There we go. I'm going to skip 3 and do another V-stitch. So I'm going to 2 double crochet into that stitch, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochet. And here I've come to the last 2 stitches of my row. So we're going to skip only 1 stitch and do 1 double crochet in that very last stitch of the row. And that will finish off row 1. For row 2, we're going to start with chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to turn the work. And here let's take a closer look at what we have. So we have our shell up here, and down here is the base of our shell. We're going to start by doing a double crochet through that stitch right there at the base of our shell. So not up here, but down here. So yarn over, insert your hook right into that space there at the base of your shell, grab the yarn, bring up your loop, grab your yarn, and do your double crochet. So pull through 2, grab your yarn, pull through 2. Now we're going to come here to this chain space, and we're going to do 1 double crochet, chain 2, and do another double crochet right into that same space, just like that. And now we're going to come back down here to the base of that shell right there where we did our other stitch, and do another double crochet right through that space. So all the way down here. So you're not going through up here, you're going through down here. Grab your yarn, bring up your loop, and do your double crochet. So pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that gives you your first herringbone stitch right there. And now we'll move to the next shell that we did. So we're going to skip this whole space here and come here to our next shell where we did the 2 double crochet and the chain space and the 2 double crochet. And so this was what you'll be doing for the remainder of the row. So at the base of that shell, you're going to yarn over and insert your hook right into the bottom of that stitch and do your double crochet. Then you'll come here to this chain 2 space, do 1 double crochet, chain 2, and then another double crochet right into that same space. And then to finish off this shell, you're going to come down here to the base and do your double crochet through that. So insert your hook, grab your yarn, and finish your double crochet. There we go. And we'll move to the next one. So yarn over, looking at our stitch here. This is our chain space, and this one down here is where we did our original stitches. So you're going to go through that stitch right there and do your double crochet. Come here to the chain 2 space at the top of your shell and do your double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet. There we go. Now to finish off our shell, we'll come back down here and do our double crochet in the base of that shell. There we go. Now we're coming up to our final shell here of this row. So we're going to start the same way. Yarn over, come down here to the base of the shell, do your double crochet, and then come here to your chain space at the top of your shell, do your double crochet, chain 2, and another double crochet. And to finish the row, instead of doing our final double crochet in that space down here, we're just going to skip that altogether and do our final double crochet at the top of this turning chain. Actually, I'm just going to go through the space. So do your double crochet right in that in that space where the turning chain was. And there we go. There is row 2. For row 3, We're going to start with a chain 3, so 1, 2, 3. Turn the work, and now this will be your repeating row. So you'll repeat row 3 until your work has reached the size that you're looking for. So let's take a look here. This is where we did our double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and we want to start by doing the first double crochet will go into that stitch that we did these ones in. So down here at the base of this shell here. So not through here, but the one right underneath it. Insert your hook, bring up your yarn, and do your double crochet. Okay, and now we're going to come up here to the chain space at the top and do 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 double crochet. And now we'll come back down here to this stitch down here. So we're not going to go through that chain space. We're going to come into the stitch right below it and do a double crochet. And then you'll repeat that for each one of these shells. So moving on to this next one, here's our chain 2 space, so we want to work in that stitch right below it and do the double crochet, and then come up here to that chain 2 space and do your double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet. And then to finish off this shell you'll come back down here, so not through the chain space but the space below it. Oops, I forgot to yarn over, and then go through that space and do the double crochet. Moving to our next one, so here's our chain 2 here, so we're going to be working in that stitch right below it and do our double crochet. Moving up here to the chain 2 space, do the double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet. And then we'll do a double crochet back down here in that stitch right below. There we go. And then I'm coming to my last one here. So I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to find the base of that stitch and do my double crochet. Come up here to this chain 2 space and do the double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet. And this is the last shell of my row. So instead of going back down here to do the final double crochet, I'm going to skip over here to this chain here and do a double crochet right into that space. And that will finish off row 3, and you'll just repeat row 3 until you've reached the size of work you're looking for. So then you'll chain 3 and turn your work. And remembering your first double crochet when you're looking at your work, you're actually going to do your first double crochet through this space down here. Then you'll do your double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in that space up there. And then you'll come back down to this space to do your final double crochet of that shell, and then move on to the next one. And here we are. I've done up a few more rows. This is what one side looks like. It's pretty much the same on both sides. So that is the herringbone stitch.